Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Narrow Path again. I'm Nick, your host, and here I am in Richmond, where I started off life. Now, just before I take you a bit of a tour, how things kicked off, just a bit of background, and I've got to pause the video a few times as we go along, but just a bit of background. Before I came into this world, basically my mum and father were both immigrants. They both come from Croatia. They met when they were over here. My mum had her first daughter who's 10 years older than me. Then she had two miscarriages. She used to be with this Turkish guy who bashed her to the point that the doctor said she basically had 5% chance of getting pregnant and basically none of giving birth safely, really. And I guess, she met my dad, and I came along. So in a way, I was a miracle child, I guess. She called me Nicholas because she promised her grandfather that's what she would name her child. So, and she says she knew from the start that she was going to have a boy. Basically, my dad was never there. I don't really remember him until I was like 5 years old. He When I was a baby, like a few months old, my mum come home here when we were living here and caught him in bed with my godmother. And that was it. It was over at her place, mind you, while she was working. And he basically run off to work, I think in Kalgoorlie or something, in the gold mines or something. And then he came back. Maybe I was about 4 or something. But yeah, from what I remember anyway, growing up, there was always people around. We always used to have like parties and stuff. Had lots of friends. My best friends was a Turkish guy, Mohammed, my Yugoslav mate, Misho, and Vietnamese guy, Kevin. I remember them. And yeah, just a lot of parties and always going out. I was spoiled heaps. And I guess my sister being 10 years older than me, what can I say? She was running the muck herself, so a lot of times she looked after me and used to go with her and her friends, which were older again. So you can imagine what the people were like back in the 80s around here in Richmond. It was a pretty notorious area for, crimes and drugs. So I got exposed to that, and I learned to shut my mouth really from the start because I never spoke about stuff that I seen or that happened, and I'll try my best to be as forthcoming as possible. There's some things I'll probably hold back, but maybe talk about later on. But for the most part, I aim to be as honest as possible because, well, if I can't be honest, how can I expect to receive truth? So, yeah, I remember, I guess, with my sister as well, like she'd be hanging out with her mates. I remember like going in flats and stuff, and there'd be like no furniture in there, and there'd be just like 20 people sitting around the lounge room, everyone smoking marijuana and doing whatever they're doing, just full of smoke. I'm getting stoned off my little head. And, all the parties and that my mum used to have, all the wogs and that used to come over, partying, dancing, having a good old time. And, people used to give me money and, cigarettes and alcohol, so from really young age, yeah, I started getting into it. Anyway, I'll take you to the hood. Yeah, so if you look at that building there, on this top corner there, fourth down from the bottom, 16th floor, that was our joint. Yep, so here I am. Looks a lot different to when I was here. This is all bigger and open. 16th floor. Just coming up to my old joint. I don't want to freak people out. They had no windows here back then, so it used to get really cold. And we were forever throwing stuff out, animals, whatever. Well, my sister was big on animals. That was the joint there. The kitchen, went in the lounge room. Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember really bad times during then. You know, I felt a lot of love, and well, I don't know, I could do whatever I wanted. Jesus, stinks in here. Let's go on the stairs. We used to get the firecrackers, use the incense, and used to run downstairs, lighting the little firecrackers, chucking them under people's doors. And there was one guy on level 5, he used to go off his head. So when I figured that there was this guy giving off a good reaction, I'd go and do it to him all the time. Yeah. So, used to be able to go up on the roof back then as well. And like I said, there was no windows. And the windows in the flats, they used to open up quite a bit more, especially because I had this real love for Superman. I was always wanting to fly out the window, wanted to go flying. So since I was stopped, I'd always throw stuff out. One time I didn't tell people, I come up here on the 20th floor. All I did, I was only little, 4 or 5. I walked out here, right? And all I seen here in the corner, the whole ground was covered in blood. Like someone got a bucket of paint and tipped it on the ground. And I wanted to go have a look, but you know, it covered the whole pathway. So I walked up close. Didn't want to get my feet dirty and just went away. So I guess, you know, there was a lot of traumatic stuff too that happened and that I was saying. I pretty much had free range, you know, from as far back I can remember. I was about 4 years old. I was just out and about doing whatever. My sister and all her mates. Someone's having a smoke, probably bump into someone, can't pull them on. But yeah, free range, doing whatever, running them up, and all the old boys used to look out for me. I'll do another video just about this, all this stuff, just because we're running out of time. I'll just try to keep it about 10 minutes. The flats one away, 12. This is all very different. Here, this was all gone, all that stuff, the park behind. Used to be a cow over there, like a statue. Here, there used to be a garden. Just basically here, we're on, oh, maybe about here. There was this garden, similar to that garden of trees behind there, but it's full of shrubs. I remember I was about 6 years old, or maybe 5. I was out here playing, and I seen someone off that corner jump off the building, and they just went flying down, bang, hit the deck down there, and it freaked me out that I pissed my pants. So yeah, I run upstairs, never said anything to anyone, because I guess that's how I was trained, you know, especially with the things my sister and her friends were getting up to. I kept hush-hush pretty quick, well, from the get-go. In some ways I got a big mouth, you know, I'm a smart aleck and whatever, always was. But yeah, anyway, and here, I've become blood brothers. My mate Misha, but we ended up doing our own things. Anyway, see you in a sec.